Remember when every main street looked like this? There was a time when almost every American town shared the same familiar heartbeat. No matter where you traveled, the center of town felt instantly recognizable. A row of brick storefronts. A courthouse clock keeping time. The local pharmacy with its soda fountain. A hardware store whose owner knew every customer by name. Today, many of those places are gone. What happened to the main streets that once defined everyday America? For generations, Main Street wasn't just a place to shop. It was where people met, celebrated, argued, fell in love, and built communities. From the early 1900s through much of the 20th century, these streets represented the economic and social center of small-town America. But over just a few decades, thousands of them changed forever. If you walk through many historic downtowns today, you'll still find traces of that earlier America. Beautiful brick buildings remain. Old movie theaters still stand. Some faded signs cling to their walls, hinting at businesses that disappeared long ago. These streets tell a story, not only about architecture, but about how Americans once lived. During the first half of the 20th century, Main Street was designed for people, not traffic. Most daily errands could be completed within a few blocks. Banks, bakeries, barber shops, department stores, doctors' offices, grocery stores, diners, clothing shops, and movie theaters often stood side by side. Residents walked from store to store, greeting neighbors along the way. Business owners rarely served strangers. They served generations of the same families. The local newspaper office, city hall, and post office added even more activity, making downtown the center of civic life. On Saturday mornings, sidewalks filled with shoppers. Children stopped for candy after visiting the Five and Dime. Parents compared prices at local merchants. Farmers drove into town to buy supplies and catch up on local news. Teenagers gathered outside the movie theater before the evening show. Every storefront had its own personality. Display windows changed with the seasons. Holiday decorations transformed entire blocks into festive gathering places. Even people with little money often spent hours downtown simply because that's where life happened. Then something began to change. Not all at once, but gradually enough that many people barely noticed. After World War II, America experienced rapid suburban growth. More families owned automobiles. New neighborhoods spread farther from traditional downtowns. Shopping centers offered large parking lots, multiple stores under one roof, and longer business hours. Later, enclosed malls attracted even more customers. Eventually, big-box retailers and online shopping reshaped consumer habits once again. Many small businesses simply couldn't compete with lower prices and changing shopping patterns. One by one, familiar storefronts closed. For long-time residents, the loss wasn't only economic. It was deeply personal. The pharmacist who remembered every family. The bookstore owner who recommended your next novel. The barber who had cut 3 generations of hair. These relationships couldn't be replaced by larger stores. When businesses disappeared, communities often lost places where neighbors naturally met one another. Main Street had been more than commerce. It had been connection. Ironically, many communities are now working to restore the downtowns they once overlooked. Historic preservation projects, local festivals, farmers markets, independent cafes, and small businesses are bringing new life back to many historic main streets. People have rediscovered something planners understood generations ago. Walkable streets create more than convenience. They create community. If this story brought back memories, or helped you discover a piece of America's past, subscribe for more journeys into the forgotten places, everyday lives, and hidden history that shaped the nation we know today. Every brick building, Every faded painted sign, and every old storefront tells part of America's story. They remind us that history isn't found only in famous landmarks. Sometimes it's found in the places where ordinary people bought groceries, watched Saturday movies, shared conversations, and greeted neighbors by name. The next time you pass through a small town main street, slow down. You may be looking at one of the last living chapters of an America that once felt familiar almost everywhere.